guys, my name is Lori and welcome to the Icing Artist. So this week is my brother's engagement party. I'm so excited. I've been planning this cake for a long time now, and I've decided to give them a engagement cake with a kind of beach theme because he proposed on the beach and their first date was on the beach. So I'm going to show you how to make this kind of beach themed cake. I'm also going to show you how to make that edible sand using cake crumbs and how to make those really pretty shells and where to get that shell mold. So let's get started.
Okay, so this is just the top of my cake that I've already cut off, and I've just chopped it into little pieces. I'm going to stick that in the oven at 300 degrees for about a half an hour until they crisp up, kind of like croutons. Once they've cooled, I'm just going to stick them into my magic bullet, or you can use a food processor. And you're just trying to get them to be really nice and fine kind of pieces till they're about this. You can just set them in a bowl and you can set them aside. And you'll notice that they're very fine and there's a variation in color and it just really kind of looks like wet sand. Now for the shells, I want my shells to have kind of that marbled look. So I'm taking my white fondant and I'm going to mix it together with a couple shades of kind of beige. And I'm just going to lightly mix it together. You don't want to mix it too much so you can have that different kind of toned effect. And this is the shell mold that I bought. I bought that at Flower Confections. I can leave a link in my description below where you can purchase one. And you just want to take your fondant and stick it into your mold. And I've used a little bit of icing sugar so that way it doesn't stick. And then you can pop them right out. As you can see, there's lots of different shells that kind of very realistic looking, but variation in shapes and sizes and kind of shells. Now for my starfish, I'm going to take that kind of beigey fondant. I'm going to roll it out about this thick. I'm just taking a flower cutter that's kind of looks like a star, but not quite. I'm going to cut it out, and then I'm going to just stretch each of the ends. Just about this much. And then I'm going to push those ends down towards the table and kind of pinching the top of it together. I'm just going to press into the center with my fingers, and that's going to give it a little bit more dimension. Now taking the back end of my paintbrush, I'm just going to create some texture in it and then just curve the ends, and that's going to make it look like it's almost crawling or give it that lively effect. Now with all of my shells and my starfish, I'm just going to glaze them using this edible glaze. So you just want to spray over them and let them dry. I've actually sprayed mine 3 times. I'm doing that to both my shells and my starfish. Once you're done, it's going to have this kind of effect. This one is glazed and this one is not. And you can see that it really brings out the color in the shell. Now for those kind of rings that are joined together, I'm taking this orange yellow kind of fondant. I'm cutting out 2 circles. I'm going to cut out a circle inside of that circle, so it's going to create this kind of ring shape. I'm going to dust that with some luster dust. Cut the one end, and then just glue it together using some water. Now for my cake. I'm just going to ice my cake using some buttercream. And I'm making a tiered cake, so I've already prepped my cake for tiering and everything. I'm just going to put that right on top. And to add the sand, I'm just going to use some water. And that's going to wet and moisten my buttercream and allow my sand to kind of adhere to it. I'm just going to use a measuring cup and kind of place the sand where I want it. And I've decided to make this cake a little bit personal. So I'm going to draw on the sand kind of like you would on the beach. So I'm going to draw a heart on the top of it. And then carve my brother's and his fiance's initials inside the heart. And I'm just going to place my rings on the side of it. And for the rest of the cake, I'm just going to put little bits of sand and little shells kind of decorating around it. So again, just wetting with some water and then placing the sand there. And And if you have any larger pieces, you can use some gel paste and that will help stick them down. And you really just want to place them going around the cake kind of randomly and look like they're kind of flowing down the cake and around the cake. Now I also have sand on my cake board, so I'm using gel paste to stick the sand to that. And just kind of dumping the sand down there. And then you can also write in that, so I'll draw a little heart here. And that's the cake.
I found sand a difficult thing when it came to putting it on cakes. You can either use like brown sugar or graham crumbs, but I felt brown sugar was really too sweet for the amount of sand I wanted to put on the cake, and graham crumbs, it just had too much of a grainy kind of texture, whereas the cake crumbs actually just tasted like cake crumbs. Anyways, it was delicious, and I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. I know that my brother and my sister-in-law to be really enjoyed their cake. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys later.